as we continue up next. Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, plus Reinas, back with us again tonight. And they're locking it up with Grace Fenwick and Jessica Goldman, the notorious UK ladies.
I'm kind of intrigued by Las Reinas. I want to see what they do tonight against the UK ladies.
The following ladies' tag team contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, accompanied by Women's International Champion Angie Angel Guns from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Josie Rod and Lisa Rivera, Las Reinas.
For you nosy Parkers, that's Lisa Rivera on the left of your screen, and that's Josie Rod on the right. Las Reinas, the daughters of El Jefe Ray Guns, hence the nieces of Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns, and the grandnieces of Angie Angel Guns. Man, they really do have cousins by the dozens, don't they, guys?
They've been pretty impressive in their first few matches. The Future Endeavor, Blonde Ambition, and Kaden and Katana have all taken pinfall losses at the hand of Josie and Lisa. You can deny lots of stuff in wrestling, but the Guns family genetics when it comes to ring knowledge have certainly been passed down to these two from El Jefe. How are they gonna deal with the extra sadistic Grace Fenwick and Jessica Goldman, the UK ladies?
And it's Crazy Eddie's Christmas in August. His prizes are insane.
Their opponents from Sussex, England, Grace Fenwick, and from Sydney, Australia, Jessica Goldman, the UK.
Jessica and Grace come into this one in bad moods tonight. Grace Fenwick, of course, still hurting and embarrassed by being the first elimination in the ladies for Way at Rage Monday night. And, well, there's rumors round the locker room that Jessica Goldman and Valor Jack may be on the outs. I don't have anything else, and what I got came from Frankie Picone and Marta Gordon of Power and Beauty. When and if I get more, I'll be sure to share it with you.
You've turned into a regular backstage gossipy yenta, haven't you, GB? I love you.
Love you to boss. Now get to work.
All right, as the ladies choose up sides, it's going to be Lisa Rivera and Grace Fenwick starting off this ladies tag team matchup. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. They come center ring. Off the ropes, flying punch from Grace Fenwick to Lisa Rivera. Lisa gets right back up. Grace Fenwick right there with a clothesline. Takes her down. Hanging off the ropes and everything. Grace Fenwick gets a hold of Lisa. Whips her to her team's corner. Grace Fenwick rapes the leg over the middle rope. Delivers a kick to the calf. Fenwick gets a hold of Lisa again. Axe kick. Takes her down to the canvas. Grace Fenwick must really be enjoying the way Lisa Rivera suffers, but she's having a good time in there. A stomp to the shoulder. Takes herself around. Delivers a kick to the back. And here comes Jessica Goldman as Lisa Rivera steps out for a moment. Snaps two, gets her act back together, gets herself back in the ring. Jessica Goldman right there delivers another axe kick to the head of Lisa Rivera. And while she's showboating, here comes Josie Rod. And Jessica don't see her coming. Knee to the head of Jessica Goldman. Down she goes like a chopped down tree. Josie follows up with a stomp to the shoulder. Jessica Goldman finding herself in a bit of trouble right away. Here we go. A painful rocking leg lock from Josie Rod. Josie gets a hold of Jessica Goldman. Escorts her to the far right corner. Head first into the turnbuckle she goes. Josie yanking on the arm, using the ropes for leverage. Jessica Goldman catches the right, catches the second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. Well, now Jessica Goldman goes down in the corner, and Josie playing a little bit of chokey with Jessica Goldman. Deep dish Chicago-style denial. Hey, I didn't do anything. Okay. Oh, man. What a shot. Right there. Oh, man. I can't believe she's still moving. Jessica Goldman taking a hard shot from Josie Rod here. Josie with a hard right to Goldman. A second one, and down she goes. Josie turning her attention to Grace Fenwick. Delivers her a couple of rights. Gets a hold of her hair. drags her in over the top rope. A clubbing overhand right to Grace Fenwick as Lisa Rivera is tagged in. Jessica Goldman comes back inside the ring. A knee to the head from Jessica to Lisa. Lisa rounded up by Jessica Goldman. A boot to the face. And down she goes. Goldman going for a cover here. One, but just barely a one. Lisa Rivera powering out of the pin, catches a kick. Josie tags her with a forearm. Jessica gets a hold of her. Lisa Rivera catches another axe kick. Now Jessica Goldman opens up with a series of wrist clutch kicks to Lisa Rivera. And the tide begins to turn, slow but steady, towards the UK ladies. Couple of knees to the back from Jessica Goldman to Lisa Rivera. Lisa counters with a kick, gets back up on her feet. Delivers the stomp to Jessica Goldman. Goldman catches another to the shoulder. A double boot stomp right to the midsection of Jessica Goldman. Lisa Rivera knocks her up, pitches her into her team's corner. Here comes Josie on the tag, and here comes a double team from Las Reinas. Hard shot to the ribs from Josie. Josie gets a hold over from behind into an abdominal stretch here. But Jessica Goldman counters, gets a crucifix going, and drops Josie right on her head. Running kick takes Josie Rod down. Jessica Goldman flips her to her team's corner, tags in Grace Fenwick, and a double team shot from the UK ladies as Grace Fenwick takes over for her team. Josie hung up on the top rope by Grace Fenwick. Grace opens up with a series of hard right hands, followed up with a stomp to the midsection. Now goes back, delivers a series of lefts. Also followed up with another stomp to the midsection. Grace Fenwick having herself a grand old time here. Josie whipped to the ropes. Grace Fenwick ducks under. Josie puts on the brakes, delivers a hard gut shot to Grace Fenwick. Fenwick rounded up by Josie. Got her up for the vertical suplex, a nice long one too. Josie starts raining right hands on the head of Grace Fenwick. Grace Fenwick finding herself in a little bit of trouble here. Josie rounds her up. Discus punch takes Grace Fenwick down to the canvas again. And Josie Rivera delivers the parting shot, takes herself out and lifts in Lisa. Lisa Rivera moving in on a laid out Grace Fenwick. Another double boot stomp to the midsection. Jessica Goldman with a cheap shot on Lisa. Lisa turns her attention back to Grace Fenwick, turns her attention back to Jessica Goldman, takes herself out to the outside on the apron with her, and boom, drops her right across the lip of the apron and chop blocks Grace Fenwick. Well, damn. Lisa Rivera, the house on fire here, rounds up Grace, gets her back inside the ring. Grace back up on her feet. Angie Angel Guns just having a great time here. Grace Fenwick opens up with a series of shots. Takes Lisa down to one knee. Hard forearm. Takes her down all the way. Grace Fenwick is mad. Oh, yeah, definitely provoked. Most definitely provoked. Grace Fenwick doing a little showing off for the fans in Toronto. Lisa Rivera laid out in the far corner. Grace misses with the kick. Lisa whips her over the top rope out onto the floor, and she rolls out hard. Lisa rolls out after her. Hey, wait a minute, changed her mind. Decided against it, gonna go after Jessica Goldman instead. Brings her in over the top rope, a clubbing overhand right to Jessica Goldman. Lisa catches a knee to the head from Grace Fenwick. Fenwick goes to work, unloads with a couple of lefts on the head of Lisa. Followed up with a stomp, turns her attention to Josie. Josie Rod about to catch the beats of the boat ring. 10 shot punches to the chest. Grace Fenwick says she enjoys this too much. She said it in a certain way I'm not allowed to use on YouTube. Anyway, Josie gets a hold of Grace Fenwick head first into the turnbuckle. Grace Fenwick counters, finds her way out. Opens up with a set of kicks. Josie backs off hard. Grace Fenwick with Josie up over the shoulders. Josie counters with some elbows. Backs Grace Fenwick off, gets a hold of her. Hard whip to the corner. Whoa, look at this, a clothesline, and just pitched her out center ring. Josie covers and hooks the leg. But Jessica Goldman right there to break up the party. Oh, man. This one's been wild so far, huh? Josie, trash talking, catches a back body drop from Grace Fenwick, who looks like she's in big trouble. Grace lifts to the corner, catches a poke in the chops from Josie, and now a series of driving shoulders into the midsection. And now a little choky time for Grace Fenwick. The shoe being on the other foot, this girl getting a taste of her own medicine. Huh, Josie Rivera lapping it up from the crowd as Jessica Goldman's brought in on the tag. She charges, nails Josie with a kick to the head. A kick to the leg followed up by Jessica Goldman. Goldman with a kick to the back. And Josie Rod. A rebound off the rope, a knee to the head. Josie suddenly finding herself on the receiving end of the bad business here as Jessica Goldman gathers her up. Gets a hold of her. Hard whip to the opposing team's corner for Josie, who catches a series of driving knees into the head from Jessica Goldman. Josie puts on the brakes here. Got her by the foot. Slams her down. Josie turns Goldman over. Gathers her up to her feet and a discus punch. Takes her right back down again. Josie gathers her up. Oh, man. Ripcord knee to the head for Jessica Goldman. Josie quickly covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, no, barely just a 2, like a 1.9. Josie has to start all over again. Trash talking Jessica Goldman. She charges, drives a knee into Goldman's head. Man, she held on for just a second where she had some hang time. Here comes Grace Fenwick on the tag. Josie opens up on Grace Fenwick with a series of shots, including an uppercut forearm that takes her down. Josie steps out, steps back in. Not sure what it's about, but okay. She's driving. Josie puts Fenwick to Las Reinas corner. Drapes the leg over the middle rope, delivers the calf kick. I'm sorry, that hurts. Josie locks her up, has her up, backbreaker, right across the knee. And here comes Lisa Rivera on the tag. We're about the halfway mark just about now. Still no sign of a winner. Lisa rounds up Grace Fenwick. Fenwick counters with elbows to Lisa. Backs her off a good 3 feet. Gets a hold of her. Hard whip to the far corner. A clothesline takes Lisa down on the canvas. Grace off the middle rope moonsault. Well executed by Grace Fenwick. Grace steps out. Here comes Jessica Goldman again. This one's gone back and forth quite a while now. Goldman with a kick to Lisa. Lisa whip to the ropes. Goldman ducks under. Flying punch. Takes Lisa down. Here's a cover from Goldman. 1, 2. Get up. Well, now. Oh, slapped her hand away and kicked her in the head. Lisa gets a hold of her. Ripcord knee to the head. Another cover. Another hook. 1, 2. But again, man, nobody giving up around here. Lisa steps out, turns it over to Josie. Josie Rod locks up Goldman. Whips her to the ropes. Drives the knee right into the head again. She's taking far too many of those. Well, look at this. Lisa turns it back over. Josie Rivera rounds her up hard. Right, takes her down again. Jessica Goldman has taken a lot of shots to the head. Here's a kick to the midsection. Here we go. The flatliner. The Guns family trademark right there. 1. But Grace Fenwick breaking it up. It probably was going to be the end had she not been there to save the day. Josie gets a hold of her. Tags her all right. Goes out onto the apron. Look at this. Lisa Rivera going after Jessica Goldman as Grace Fenwick lands hard on the lip of the apron. Jessica Goldman favoring the knee. Looks like Lisa did a little bit of damage there. Josie rounds her up. Locks Goldman up. Rolls her back inside the ring. Well, this one got frantic real quick. Josie all the way up on the top. Drops the elbow across the chest of Jessica Goldman. And it little bit of bitty bitty bomb bomb from Las Reinas. How about that? Well, now. Oh! Hard shot right in the baby maker from Josie. Another Guns family trademark, the low shot. Goldman counters, escapes the corner, tries for the discus punch. Josie rebuffs it. Gets a hold of Goldman again, takes her to the opposing far corner, slams her head into the turnbuckle. Opens up with a series of hard rights. Down goes Goldman, a stomp to the midsection. Another. And this one's been crazy. Lisa Rivera brought in on the tag. Jessica Goldman seated in the far right corner. Whoa! Hard knee to the head from Lisa. Lisa drives Goldman's knee into the canvas. She steps out and tags in Josie again. A lot of frequent tags from Las Reinas, huh? Josie rounds up Jessica Goldman. Hasn't been good for much for the last couple of minutes. Hard whip to the ropes. Another driving knee to the head of Jessica Goldman. Josie covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Again, somehow. Jessica Goldman getting that left shoulder up just in the nick of time. Look at Angie Angel Gunn. She can't even believe it. Josie opens up with hard right hands to the head of Jessica Goldman. She's starting to get a little bit frustrated. Jessica Goldman gathered up, whipped to Las Reinas corner again. Here comes Lisa Rivera on the tag. Here comes another double team. Goldman whipped to the ropes, double back body drop as Lisa Rivera takes over for Las Reinas. Sweep of the leg from Jessica Goldman, who might want to think about tagging out at this point. Goldman grip toward clothesline to Lisa. Rounds her up, wrist clutch, knee to the head. And Lisa Rivera suddenly finding herself in trouble here as Jessica Goldman starts to open up. Counter whip to the ropes. Goldman puts on the brakes, drives a knee into the midsection. Here's another cover. 1. And barely just a 1, almost a 2. This one's been crazy, man. Goldman whips Lisa to the ropes. Here's a wicked strike kick to the head. Yet another cover with a hook. 1, 2, but Josie breaking up the pin. Saves the match for Las Reinas. Lisa rolls out to the floor. Jessica Goldman going to go out after her. Oh, man. Unbelievable, these two. Goldman rounds her up. Drives a series of knees into Lisa's midsection. Jessica Goldman taking her sweet time about getting back inside the ring. The count continues, but here we go. Lisa back in the ring, gets a hold of Jessica Goldman. Rounds her up into a headlock punch. Goes behind on her. Gets her, inverted dragon sweep. Inverted suplex. That was pretty. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2. And finally, this one does come to a close with Las Reinas picking up the pinfall win over the UK ladies.
The time, 15 minutes and 38 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, Las Reinas.
I've got to fess up about this. When I first heard Las Reinas were coming in, I was cynical about it. More Guns family nepotism from a family with influence going back decades. But now, I see them wrestle along. Hard match. Clearly, Josie and Lisa have those good genes we've heard so much about lately. I think they're gonna fit in just fine once they find their footing.
More Snarl in just a minute.